I would like B'ezrat Hashem to bless all of us b'siyata d'ishmaya, that we will all have the zchut to greet Mashiach tzidkenu barachamim u'morim b'mehera b'yameinu, amen. Eliyahu Navi Eliyahu Tishvi Eliyahu V'ledim Mamshech David Eliyahu Navi zachu latov, and we all have the zchut to see binyan Beit HaMikdash Shishi b'mehera b'yameinu, amen. Ki ayin b'ayin rebushu b'nei Tzion, ata takum terachem Tzion, ki et lechanena ki ba moed, b'ezrat Hashem. Hashivenu elecha v'nashuva chadesh yameinu kekedem, say amen chazak. And we all have the zchut to go to Eretz Yisrael on the wings of eagle, and may we all have part be'eretz Yisrael b'ezrat Hashem. B'siyata d'ishmaya, dear ladies. B'siyata d'ishmaya, dear ladies. I would like to tell you this Sunday was the Yortzeit, yesterday was the Yortzeit of Rabbi Meir HaNess and Rabbi Odani, and it was also Pesach Sheni, Baruch Hashem. And Pesach Sheni is the opportunity to do a fixing for the people that weren't pure and couldn't put the sacrifice of Pesach and eat from it. So they have the chance to do it on Pesach Sheni, which is Yudaled Iyar. And Yudaled Iyar is also the Yortzeit of Rabbi Meir HaNess. So, dear ladies, Rabbi Odani b'siyata d'ishmaya. So we are going to speak today about the righteous tzaddikim. We're going to speak about stories and things that we can learn from them b'siyata d'ishmaya. It says, our sages say, "Hamsaper b'shivchan shel tzaddikim ki'ilu osek b'maaseh merkava." He who tells stories about the tzaddikim and learns from them b'ezrat Hashem, it's like he's dealing with a chariot, the holy chariot of Hashem. You know how much it's important and how much it's sanctified to speak about the tzaddikim and the way they worshipped Hashem and the way they used to behave in order to study from them and to become, furthermore, a better human being b'siyata d'ishmaya, and not only a better human being, but deservable of the term human being, Adam. So, dear ladies, we remember Rabbi Akiva. And if you remember now, we are in the Omer, and we are counting the Omer because Hashem told us to count the Omer, but we have mourning customs during the Omer because 24,000 students of Rabbi Akiva, righteous sages of Rabbi Akiva, passed away in 33 days. From Pesach to Shavuot. Ben Pesach to Shavuot, 33 days, it depends when do you count the 33 days. Some count from Pesach, from the second day of Pesach until Lag BaOmer, 33 days. Some count from Rosh Chodesh Iyar until Shavuot. It depends how the counting is. And the Hasidim, they have the customs of mourning from after Pesach until Shavuot. So it depends on the minhag that you have. This is a minhag. It's because of the 24,000 students of Rabbi Akiva. A few words about Rabbi Akiva. Rabbi Akiva was the rabbi of Rabbi Meir HaNess and Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai and a lot of 24,000 students. So what happened? First of all, Rabbi Akiva started studying Torah at the age of 40. He didn't know the Aleph Bet at the age of 40. And when Rachel, Bat Kal Basavua, wanted to marry him, and she was very rich. Her father was the richest person in Yerushalayim. And her father didn't want to listen. And he said, if you're going to marry him, you're not going to get a penny from me. But she wanted him because he had good midot, good character traits. She saw what a kind of person he is. He used to be the shepherd of her father. So she told him that she wants to marry him. And she said, but my condition is only if you go and study Torah. He's 40 years old, and he told her, the Gemara says that he tells her, how can I go? Because I don't even know the Aleph Bet. I will have to sit with small children to study the Aleph Bet. I can't. Everybody will laugh at me. Nobody will take me seriously. And it's, chutz mezeh, it's not comfortable. It's you feel ashamed. So she told him, do what I'm telling you to do now. She told him, take a donkey and put a dania. I don't know how to say that in English, but you know, a thing with earth inside, plant seeds, and put water on it and let the seeds grow. Now take this and tie it to the donkey and go to the marketplace. Okay, he did this and he went to the marketplace. The first day he came with this to the marketplace, everybody stopped what they are doing. Everybody came, what's going on here? What's this? Why it's on the donkey? Everybody looked at it because it was weird. The second day he came, again people came to him. The third day he came, again people came to him. But the fourth day nobody paid attention anymore. So when he came back, he told her, no, nobody paid attention anymore. So she told him, you see, the first day when you go and study the Aleph Bet with the children, everybody will be astonished and it will be uncomfortable. The second day, the third day, but then everybody will get used to it. And you can study and you'll become a scholar. So he went for 12 years, he left her. After he married her, he wasn't with her, left her to study Torah. After 12 years, I'm giving you just points of his life. After 12 years, he came back. And one of the students asked if she would be willing to give him to study more, to go and study again. And she said, I wish. She heard this and said, and without looking backwards, she said, I wish that he will go and study 12 more years. And he went and studied 24 years. What a kind of sacrifice. And after 24 years, he comes back with all of his scholars, 24,000 scholars. Can you imagine a man walking, a big rabbi, and 24 scholars are walking behind him? And she came to him, and she was living in a hut, in Betzrif, and her clothes were very, old and not new clothes. And yes, and she was falling next to his feet, and they wanted to carry out from his feet. And he said, no, my Torah and your Torah is hers. Just think about it, what kind of sacrifice. And all those 24,000 students passed away between Pesach to Shavuot, like at almost 600 every day. Only the tachrichin that they had to sow for so many people. And why? Because they did not honor each other. Who were the 24,000? So, dear ladies, the 24,000, we go backwards, mamash, in the Jewish history, back in the Tanakh, in the Torah, and we see that all these 24,000, you remember Shem ben Hamor, that he wanted Dinah, Bat Yaakov. You remember that he wanted her and he took her and he raped her. We spoke about it in the lessons when we spoke about you're not allowed to marry the non-Jewish people. You're only allowed to marry Jewish people. That's a halacha from Hashem. So if you remember that he took her and he told all of the people in the city to circumcise themselves. And they all did. And who came? Two of our brothers, Shimon and Levi, came and they killed everybody in the city. And Yaakov Avinu was upset with them because he said maybe they would really do tshuva, even though they didn't do it lishma, but this that they wanted, that they did circumcise themselves, and they're not young children. These are people. So he said all of those 24,000 people were reincarnated in the 24,000 Jewish people that died in the Magafa, in the plague, in the desert, because of the president of the tribe of Shimon, Zimri ben Salu and Kozvi Batsur. Do you remember? Zimri ben Salu took the Midianite and he came to Moshe Rabbeinu and he said, is she allowed that I will marry her? If you'll tell me no, how did you marry Tzipporah? So, dear ladies, because of that, you remember 24,000 people died in the plague. Zimri ben Salu was a reincarnation of Shem ben Hamor. He was the reincarnation, which means now we are coming to the times of Rabbi Akiva. Rabbi Akiva is the reincarnation of Zimri ben Salu, which is the reincarnation of Shem ben Hamor. He has Rabbi Akiva. Part of him, part of the nitzot that he has inside goes back to Zimri ben Salu, and he did the fixing. Hashem gave me the zchut to give you lessons about it. I'm not going to go into it. But he did the fixing. Those 24,000 were the 24,000 that died in the desert because of a plague, just like now they died of a plague. because of the sin of Zimri ben Saluda. They took the Midianiot, you remember they took over there women that weren't Jewish, and Hashem became very angry, and there was a plague, and Pinchas, ben Elazar, ben Aaron HaKohen, Pinchas, the priest, B'siyata Dishmaya, went and killed both of them, and by this the plague stopped. So why didn't they respect each other? They were so holy that they could see the sins of each other, what they did in the desert. This is how they were holy. They could see what they did in the desert. So they didn't share the Torah among themselves. And all of the oral Torah stands on us that we will share it. Lilmod al menat lelamed, which means to study in order to teach others. This is the Torah. The daughter learns from her mother how to light the candles of Shabbat, how to do afrashat chala in the house. She learns everything from her mother, keeping kosher, everything. She learns inside the house. The son learns with his father. So this is how we learn. We pass through generations all of the Torah b'siyata dishmaya. So this is Rabbi Akiva. After 24,000 of his students passed away, a regular person will fall and will say, wow, maybe chas v'shalom, I did something wrong, and all of my students, my scholars passed away, will be in a very deep depression and sadness. What did Rabbi Akiva do? Rabbi Akiva took 7 new students and started teaching them the Torah. And this is what he told them. Banai Rishonim, my first sons, which is all the 24,000 people, nifteru b'magefa, passed away in a plague. Ki lo nahagu kavod ze bazeh, because they did not respect each other. What would we all say? Ve'atem, atem, the word you is the word of emet. It's the letters of emet. Ve'atem, you see atem, al ta'asu kema'asem. This is a tzava'a. איך אומרים צבא באנגלית? ברך עכשיו השם. לא, צבא. Will. This is a will for all of the generations until Mashiach. It says, don't behave like them. Respect each other. Remember that Hashem created each and every one of us. Each and every one of us has a spark of Hashem inside us. So cling to the truth, to Hashem. And he taught 7 students now and 7 rabbis that got smicha. And from 5 of them, most of the Torah, the oral Torah is. When we see Mishnah that is written stam without the name of a rabbi, we know it's by Rabbi Meir Baal HaNess. Stam Mishnah is Rabbi Meir Baal HaNess. Stam Sifra is Rabbi Yehuda Ilai. Sifrei is Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai. Tosefta is Rabbi Nechemia. And Seder Olam, the 2 books of Seder Olam, which from the beginning, all of the generations, it go by all of the generations in the Torah. This is by Rabbi Yosei. 5 students that almost all of the oral Torah came from them now. After the 24,000 passed away, these are the ones that spread all of the oral Torah. So dear ladies, we see Rabbi Meir Baal HaNess. We just had his yortzeit. Look at Rabbi Meir. What we learn from Rabbi Akiva is exactly what the 14th of the month of Iyar tells us, the second Pesach. Why? Because Rabbi Akiva says, look, by teaching others, it says that there's nothing that we can't fix. Even if chas v'shalom, we didn't do the will of Hashem, and we did sin, but still there's nothing that stands in front of tshuva, repentance. So everything we can fix while we are still alive, we still have an neshama, the soul inside us, we can always fix. And it doesn't matter what we did, we can always fix. It's never late. So dear ladies, look. Iyar, Ani Hashem Rofecha. I am Hashem, your healer. And we can see, we have over here, also Iyar. You see, in the name of Rabbi Meir. But it's more than that. It's Yireh. He had the fear of Hashem. Yireh Hashem. And he worshipped Hashem like a lion. Ari. Lion. And that's why he got this name, Rabbi Meir. He was the only Tana And the only Amorah that received the name of Meir means enlightening, light. So look, why? Because Mem, Maaseh Merkava, like the chariot of Hashem. He became like a chariot for Hashem. That's his name, you see, Mem. So his first name, before they called him Rabbi Meir, is Nehorai. That was the name of Rabbi Meir Baal HaNess. His name was Nehorai, also light. Why? Because he enlightened the souls of the children of Israel with his Torah and with the Jewish laws. That's why he was called Nehorai. From where was Rabbi Meir Baal HaNess? Rabbi Meir Baal HaNess and also Rabbi Akiva is a descendant of Great Tzedek, of people that converted to Judaism. There are descendants of them. Just think about it. Also Rabbi Akiva and Rabbi Meir Baal HaNess. And who was his great-great-great-grandfather? His great-great-grandfather was a Roman Caesar. His name was Neron. And he came to conquer Jerusalem. And he was a big general. He conquered a lot of places. And he came and he made a siege around Jerusalem, and he wanted to know if God is going to give him Jerusalem. So he took a bow and arrow, and he started putting the bow, shooting the bow and arrow on all directions, south, west, east, north, all directions. And the bow and the arrow went into Jerusalem. It doesn't matter in what direction he shot the arrow. Into Jerusalem. So he understood that God is going, the God of the Israelites is going to give him the city. He's going to conquer the city. But it bothered him. Look how he had the knowing of Hashem. He said, if I'm going to conquer the city, he didn't let anybody else before conquer it. So he said, what stands behind it? So he saw children coming out of the cheder, studying Torah, small children. So he told them, please tell me, what did you study today? And one of the children said, V'natati nikmati, and I will revenge Be'edom, I will revenge Edom, Beyad Ami Israel, which means I'm going to revenge Edom, the children of Esav, in the hands of my children Israel. So he said, it means that he wants me to conquer Jerusalem, but then he's going to revenge and kill me? So Neron was thinking and thinking, and at that night, he ran away from his army. He left them like without a leader. He went away. He converted to Judaism, and one of his descendants is Rabbi Meir Baal HaNess. Unbelievable story about him. Okay? Dear ladies, so we continue with, now I'll come to Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. How was he born? We said that Borei Pri Ha'etz, like the tree has fruits, it's a sgula for children. Every time that you are blessing Borei Pri Ha'etz, know that it's like the tree has fruits, it's a sgula to have fruits, to have children. So dear ladies, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, his father Yochai and his mother Sarah, for 10 years they didn't have children. After 10 years that they didn't have children, Rabbi Yochai decided to go to a rabbi and ask him to find him another wife. Because like Sarah and Abraham, after 10 years, she gave him Agar because she couldn't bear children. So he went to the rabbi and he said, Rabbi, please, the Shadchan, please find me a wife, I need children. When Sarah heard about it, she couldn't stop crying. She was crying and crying and crying, and came Rosh Hashanah. Be'erev Rosh Hashanah, he's sleeping, and he sees, B'siyata Dishmaya, that he's in a big vineyard. And in the vineyard, there's a lot of trees. Part of the trees are very dry, nothing, no leaves, no fruits, nothing. Part of the trees have fruits, have leaves on it. And he sees an angel is going with a sack with water. And he goes to a specific trees over there. Every tree that he waters flourishes, has fruits, looks beautiful, comes to life. And the ones that already have life on them, already is flourished, it gains more, B'siyata Dishmaya. And he sees that he's leaning on a very, very dry tree. And he sees the angel come to him. And the angel, instead of taking this sack of water, takes a plate of water and he waters with that plate of water the tree. And immediately this tree became the most beautiful tree in the whole vineyard, with fruits and leaves and colors, the most beautiful tree in the whole vineyard. He woke up, so he woke up his wife too, and he says, Sarah, we're going to have a child. I know we're going to have a child. Because I saw, he tells her all the dream that I saw how he waters, which means that the ones that already had fruit, they will have more children. The ones that didn't have, that he gave them, and now they're going to have this year children. But the one that I lead, I'm sure this is you. But the only problem I have, he says, that why didn't he use the sack of water and he used the plate of water? So he went, V'siyata Dishmaya, he went to Rabbi Akiva. After Rosh Hashanah in Bnei Brak, they went, both of them, to Rabbi Akiva. And when they went to Rabbi Akiva, he tells him all of the dream, and he tells him, you interpret it right. Yes, you're going to have a son, a big scholar in Torah that will do a lot of things, he says, in this world, and bring secrets of the Torah to this world. A big scholar, he says. So he tells him, but what is the plate? Why didn't he water from the stack of water? He says, this plate was all of the tears of your wife, of Sarah, that cried that she wanted a child. So Hashem, you know, this is the same thing when we sweat for Shabbat. There's an angel that comes and takes all of the drops of sweat that we sweat for baking and cooking and doing for Shabbat. He gathers all of this, and this goes up to Hashem to show what we did for Hashem for Shabbat, for his Shabbat that he gave us as a present. So all of the tears when we take out, that's why women, be careful, don't cry over your husbands if they make you angry, because Hashem takes all of our tears. So be careful with your husbands, your children, b'siyata dishmaya, because the tear of a woman is close to Hashem, and Hashem listens. So you should be very careful. So when she cried all of the tears, an angel came and just gathered them together, and with these tears, he watered the tree. And this was the B'siyata Dishmaya, the coming of Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai. So, dear ladies, we're going back to Rabbi Meir Baal HaNess. And Rabbi Meir Baal HaNess had 3 children. He had 2 boys and a girl. And he always used to say, beware of my daughter, because he married the daughter of Rabbi Hanina ben Tardayon. You know, this is incredible. Hashem gave me to give you lessons about it. Rabbi Hanina ben Tardayon was a nitzot, a spark of holiness in Shechem ben Chamor. You remember Shechem ben Chamor that took Dinah? Why did he want to take her? He had a spark of holiness, so he wanted to be clinging to holiness, which is Dinah bat Yaakov. And I showed you B'siyata Dishmaya in the Shiur, this B'siyata Dishmaya. From where do we see it in the Torah? So Rabbi Hanina ben Tardayon was a big scholar in Torah. He had a few girls. He had a girl named Bruya and another girl, B'siyata Dishmaya. And he gave Rabbi Meir Baal HaNess his daughter Bruya, that she was a big scholar in Torah. She knew halachot. Rabbis used to come and ask her. They were afraid to speak next to her. B'siyata Dishmaya. This is how she was big in Torah. And they had 3 children, 2 boys and a girl. And one Shabbat, the boys came back home. They had a headache. They were put in bed, and lo alenu, that nobody will know they passed away.
The 2 boys?
The 2 boys, young boys. 2 boys. And Bruya was looking, and she couldn't believe what she saw. She was so emotional, but it's Shabbat, you're not allowed to cry. So she was telling herself, Shabbat, I can't cry, and I can't tell Rabbi Meir Baal HaNess, I can't tell Rabbi Meir that what happened to our children. Meanwhile, Rabbi Meir went to the shul in order to say mincha, and to give a drasha, to give a Torah lesson over there. And she's thinking what to do. She put them in bed, she covered them, and she's going out, and she decides not to say anything. She doesn't say anything. Rabbi Meir chozer after mincha and after arvit, and he tells her, where are my boys? They always come to the shul. They always listen to the drasha, the Torah lesson. Where are they? She said, you know, I think they went to a different shul, but they always come to me. She said, you know, sometimes, you know, boys, maybe they went to a different shul. So he tells her, okay, she puts everything for Havdalah, the candle, the wine, the samim, באנגלית, the samim. Anyway, she puts everything, he does Havdalah. And she decides she doesn't tell him anything until after Mela v'Malka. The fourth Suda, Motzei Shabbat. After Mela v'Malka, Malka the David Meshicha. And she prepares all of the table. You can think what she's going through. And she has to be nice and to smile. And he says, but look, we are having Mela v'Malka and the children are not at home. So what shall we do? She says, don't worry, I'm going to search them after that. I will see what to do with it. Meanwhile, let's do Mela v'Malka. Because you have to do it happy, Mela v'Malka. So B'siyata Dishmaya, he does Mela v'Malka, and then she comes to him and she says, Rabbi, I want to ask you a question in halacha. Somebody gave me a pikadon. A man came and gave me a pikadon. Okay, gave me a pikadon, a deposit. And now he came and he says that he wants the deposit back. What shall I do? So Rabbi Meir says, I'm astonished of you. You know halachot, you know that if he gave you a deposit, you have to give it back to him. It's not yours, it's his. So she said, please come with me. She goes to the room of the children. She opens the door and she shows him and she says, Rabbi, Hashem took back his deposit. And he can't believe it. He takes the cover and he looks at his children and he says, Banai, Banai, my sons, my rabbis, my rabbis. You were supposed to be big scholars in Torah, he says. My children, my sons, my rabbis. And he starts crying. You can't even stop him. And she's telling him, but didn't you tell me, Rabbi, that if you gave us a deposit, you have to give back the deposit? It's not ours, it's his. Hashem natan, Hashem lakach, Baruch Shem Hashem. Le'olam va'ed. So he was crying and he was listening to that and he couldn't stop. And all of the rabbis that came, they said, Eshet Chayil mi yimtza. On her, the Eshet Chayil mi yimtza. So dear ladies, look at the way that our sages behaved, our rabbis, our Rabbitzins, B'seyata Dishmei, all of the righteous tzaddikim. I would like to tell you another thing. Rabbi Meir, when he used to go out of his home, there were a few bullies that bothered him. They pulled his clothing, they would say the bad things to him, bother him every day he went out of the house. Every day. He started davening that they should finish their role in this world and go to the other world. When Bruya, his wife, heard this, she said, Rabbi, you shouldn't do that. She said, doesn't it written in Tehillim, Itamu chataim min haaretz, that sins will be vanished from earth, Bereshayim odenam, and wicked people will not be here? She said in Tehillim chapter 104. So it says yes. So she said, daven that they will do tshuva. It isn't written, you see, katuv chataim, sins. It isn't written sinners. Lo katuv chotim. It's not written chotim, sinners. It's written chataim, sins. And then she says, urashayim odenam, and wicked will not be here because they will all be balei tshuva. They will all do tshuva. So she said, daven that they will do tshuva. And he davened and they became big rabbis. David and Yonatan were their names. They became big scholars in Torah. You know, when you daven for a person, if you pray for a person that he will do tshuva, spiritually, you change him. You put tzedakah for him, you put charity for him, and you mention him and his mother's name. You can give even a gift, matnat chinam, a free gift, unconditional gift. Like Adam HaRishon, the first human being, dear ladies, you remember that he looked, Hashem let him see all of the generations from the beginning till the end. And when he saw David HaMelech, King David, he saw that King David is a baby that is born and he lives 3 hours and he passes away, lo alenu. So he said, Hashem, what's this? He will live 3 hours and he pass away? He says, yes, because he's part of you, and I told you when you eat from the tree of knowledge, good and bad, you're going to pass away. You're going to die. So he is the one, because he couldn't wait for 3 hours, he will live for 3 hours and he will die. Why? Because Adam Arishon, the first human being, Adam, you see, Aleph is for Adam, Daled is David, and Mem is Mashiach. This is Adam. So he gave him a gift, a free gift of 70 years. The first human being lived 930 years. Why? Because in chapter 19 Tehillim, it says that a day of Hashem is 1,000 years. The first human being gave King David 70 years. So he lived 930 years. So what did he do in order to give this gift? He said to Hashem, I'm going to give him 70 years. So they wrote a contract. And there were 2 witnesses. It was Hashem and the minister, the angel Matat. So now we all can also give a free gift and help others. You know how can we do this? By, for example, if we know our children, our husband, our sisters, brothers, siblings, it doesn't matter, friends, and we care for Klal Yisrael, and we know that they don't daven, we can, if we read Tehillim, we can give them a few chapters from what we read by saying, Hashem, I'm taking all of these people that I mentioned their name to be part of the Tehillim that I'm reading. I'm giving them part of this Tehillim as a gift, a free gift, unconditional gift. And my witnesses is you Hashem, and the angel Matat. And it's a free gift. You gave them a gift. So all of these words that you said, Pirkei Shira, Shira Shirim, Tehillim, anything that you did, and you gave them, it all surrounds them. You don't see it with a physical eye, because if you see it, everybody will listen to Hashem. There's no freedom of choice anymore, because you know the truth. But all of the letters that you took out of your mouth and you davened and you prayed are surrounding them. Put tzedakah for them and you will see it. All this is gathered, and eventually they'll do tshuva. And then you have a dividend in them, their children, their children's children, for generations. Because you cared so much about the children of Hashem, and you helped them do tshuva. So dear ladies, this is Rabbi Meir Baal HaNess. And why he was called Baal HaNess? Because I want to go to Rabbi Shimon Yochai also, so I'm going to finish with this, but he's called Baal HaNess because the sister, and just pay attention, Rabbi Chanina bet Ardion, the father of Bruria, the wife of Rabbi Meir Baal HaNess, he was burned by the Romans with a Torah wrapped around him. They took tzemar gefen, cotton. They took cotton with water, put on his heart, so it will take a long time for him to die. And they burned him. So the students asked him, what do you see, Rabbi? He says, I see that the gvil, gvil באנגלית? Parchment, the thing that the Torah is written on, like an amulet, the gvil, parchment. I see the parchment is burned, but the letters are flying under the throne of Hashem. I see the letters. Meanwhile, the executor was listening. So he said, Rabbi, if I will take out all of the cotton from you and I'll help you to die quickly, he says, will you take me to the true world that I will have paradise? He said, yes. And he took the cotton and he was burnt quickly, and the executor jumped into the fire and was burnt with him. A decree from heaven went and said, here is a man that gets heaven, paradise in 1 hour. There's a person that buys his world, the true world, in 1 hour. The executor. A Roman executor. So dear ladies, just look how righteous was Rabbi Chanina ben Tardayon. It says about him, the student said, Rabbi, open your mouth so the fire will go into your mouth. He says, I can't take my soul. The Hashem who gave me my soul, he can take my soul. I can't do anything to help it to be quicker. Furthermore, dear ladies, his wife was also executed. And his daughter, the other daughter, was put in prison. Now I would like to tell you, why was she put in prison? She was also beautiful. She went in the marketplace and the Romans saw her walking. And they said, תראו הליכתה של בריאה זו, איזה הליכה נעימה. Look how she walks so nicely, so elegant. She heard that they were saying this, and the Yetzer Hara caused her to walk even nicely. Because of that, Hashem put her in jail. So what will we do, dear ladies? Us. Because she caused, dear ladies, others to look at her, and she paid, just תחשבו רק מה אנחנו נגיד. So she was in jail. And in that jail, Bruya told her husband, Rabbi Meir, that he will take her out of jail. So he made himself like a merchant, and he took a sack of coins, of gold and silver, yes, money, and he went to the jail. When he came over there, he asked, he told the person that looks after the guard of all of the prisoners over there, he looked at them and he looked at him and he said, I would like to take the Jewish woman that is imprisoned over here to take her with me. So, is it a joke? All of the Romans, the leaders of the Romans are always looking at her and waiting to see what's going to happen with her, and you want to take her? I can't give you this prisoner. He said, I have a lot of money, I'm going to give you the money, and then you can give me the prisoner and you can bribe anybody that asks about her, that they won't do anything. So he said, okay, but what happens when the money is finished? He told him, I will tell you to say a pasuk, a verse, and when you say this, you will be saved from anything. He says, and what should I say? He says, Eloka de Meir aneni. Okay? He says, but how do I know that this works? He says, I will show you. He took earth from the ground. There were big German shepherds around the jail. He took the earth and he threw on the German shepherds, and they were hungry. So after he did this, they came running to him just to bite him. Immediately when they were close to him, he said, Eloka de Meir aneni 3 times. Eloka de Meir aneni, Eloka de Meir anenu. 3 times he said, immediately the dogs, the tails went inside their legs. They were sitting next to him, they didn't touch him. So the guard said, okay, give me the money. He gave him the girl. And he went back. By this, he was called after this, Rabbi Meir HaNess, the one with a miracle. How do we do this? How do we do miracles, dear ladies? B'siyata d'ishmaya. When we answer Amen, we are also creating angels and making miracles. Because after Aleph comes the letter Bet. After Mem comes the letter Nun. And after Nun comes the letter Samech. Benes. With a miracle. So dear ladies, we do also, by doing this, we're also doing miracles. So the God gave him. And meanwhile, his wife took the money and started buying a new chariot and a new kitchen and new clothes. And all of the neighbors were saying, what's wrong? From where does he have more money? He's only a guard in a jail. So where does the money come from? And when the money was finished, they came to him and they started investigating him. And then he said that Rabbi Meir HaNess, Rabbi Meir took the prisoner, and they made pictures, they draw paintings of Rabbi Meir in all of the marketplaces, in all the public places. So anybody that can find him, they will find him and give him to the Romans. So dear ladies, they wanted to hang him, and the executor puts the rope around him and opens beneath him in order that he will die. And once he puts the rope, he says, Elokam de Meir aneni, says it 3 times, and the rope is cut, ripped. Again, he puts the rope, and again he says it, and again the rope is ripped. 3 times he does that, and he says, okay, this God doesn't want you. He tells him, what's going on? What are you saying that makes that? He told him all of the story of Rabbi Meir HaNess. Meanwhile, the Romans were looking for him. Rabbi Meir HaNess went into a marketplace, and one of the merchants over there saw him and said, wow, this is not the man that his painting is drawn on the gate of the marketplace. So he called the soldiers and the soldiers were running after Rabbi Meir HaNess. What did Rabbi Meir HaNess do? He went into a restaurant, a non-kosher restaurant that they eat over there, all of the trefot, and he was sitting and he ordered himself a big plate of trefot, and he started like he's eating. One hand he's taking and putting the other finger inside and not the finger that has the food in it. The soldiers came in and they said, this can't be Rabbi Meir, because this is a righteous rabbi. It can't be Rabbi Meir that will sit and eat trefot. From there on, he ran away from Israel. He went to Asia. I don't know exactly what country he was. But when he passed away, he didn't pass in Israel. He passed away in Asia. And over there, he told the Goyim, the non-Jewish people, to put him in a aron, in a cupboard, next to the ocean, and to tell the Jewish people in Israel to send a message over there that a big rabbi passed away. And the Israelites went and took his coffin and took it back to Israel, and they buried him in Tiberias, in Tveria, next to the Kinneret. And he was buried standing. Nobody is buried standing except for Rabbi Meir HaNess. Nobody. He's protecting the generation. That he was the only one that was called Meir. That enlightened. Meir Milshon Or, light. Dear ladies, Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai B'siyata Dishman, they studied at the same time with Rabbi Akiva. Rabbi Meir HaNess and Rabbi Akiva studied, Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai studied at the same time together. It says about Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai, in his time there wasn't a rainbow. This is how he was righteous. Rainbow in Hebrew is keshet. He was protecting the whole generation. He was the one that, before he passed away, he told Rav Abba, there were two people inside the room before he passed away. He asked everybody to go out, except for his son, Rabbi Elazar, and Rav Abba. And he told Rav Abba, dear ladies, to write down all of the secrets of the Torah. And this is the Zohar HaKadosh. And with these secrets, and with study from the secrets of the Torah, we bring Mashiach with mercy, berachamim, because we awaken our soul, b'siyata dishmaya, to Hashem. So Keshet, the rainbow, which no rainbow in his generations was in the sky, Keshet is the initials of Kin'ah. The Kuf is Kin'ah, jealousy. Shin is Sin'ah, hatred, that comes from Kavod, seeking for honor. Betaf Zatava. And you remember Masechet Avot that we study now, and this week is the fourth Masechet, and the fourth is written, Kin'ah, Ta'ava, Kavod, Motzin et Adam min ha'olam. Jealousy, lust, and honor take a human being out of this world. Dear ladies, we know in Tehillim, chapter 119, verse 18, it's written, Gal enai v'abita niflaot mitoratecha. On the day that Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai passed away, it's a day of celebration. He wants everybody to be happy in order to show gratefulness to Hashem. Gal, you see, Gal, reveal my eyes that I can see all of the secrets of your Torah. Gal is Lag. Is Lag Ba'omer. On the day of Lag Ba'omer, Hashem, open my eyes so I can know the Torah. I will be part of the Torah, will be part of me, B'siyata Dishmaya. Furthermore, B'siyata Dishmaya, in Bereshit, I'll write it over here, and maybe I'll finish with this. Bereshit. Bereshit, you see over here? Az yesh lanu reish, shin, bet. This is in the beginning, the first word in the Torah. Bet v'yud. You see over here? Bereshit, ze Rashbi. Rashbi, et. In the beginning, in the word, the first word in the Torah, we can see B'siyata Dishmaya, the initials of Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai, that will teach us the secrets of the Torah from Aleph Ataf. From the first letter in the Hebrew Aleph Bet to the last letter in the Hebrew Aleph Bet. It says in Tehillim, B'siyata Dishmaya, chapter 68, Alita lamarom shavita shevi, that Moshe Rabbeinu, when he came to get the Torah, and he went to mountain of Sinai, B'siyata dishmaya, he took their souls with him. And one of the souls, Shavita Shevi, it's Shimon. You see initials of Shimon Bar Yochai. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. So dear ladies, with these words, B'ezrat Hashem, may Hashem bless us, that we will have the zchut to greet. Mashiach tzidkenu ברחמים גמורים במהרה בימינו, אמן. אליהו נביא זכור לטוב, לעולם יפרד אדם מחברו בדבר הלכה יחיד, ורבים הלכה כרבים. חזק וברוך.